So this is, once again, the Customer Service Role Center. If I just flip over just to show you, we're going to look at the Purchasing Role Center just to kind of give you an idea of what could be different in each role. So Alicia is my purchasing person, and she is interested in purchasing information. So here we have purchase orders, ones that are destined to show up, vendors rather than customers, and you kind of get the point. So just to kind of give you a flavor for how those two may look different. Some of the personalization that's available, once again, as an end user, if I click sales orders along the left-hand side, I'm seeing all sales orders in the system. And if I click here to Haddock and you look off to the right, this is called a fact box. And if I arrow down, you'll see that that information changes as I hit each new customer. Okay? Lightning options, once again, along this side, so they have the ability to pick and choose which information. In this case, I would like to see within customer statistics. So you're starting to get the idea of how that information can be customized. But in this case, I may be a particular customer service agent, but I may only manage 2 locations. And you can see I have several locations displayed for me. So with the new filtering options, I have the ability to come in and filter. In this case, I'm looking at a particular location, and I say, you know what, I'm only interested in the blue locations and the green locations. And once I put that in the filter box, it then, obviously only presents me with the blue and the green information. And let's say I use that information quite a bit, and I want to save that filter. I could come over to Sales Orders and simply say View As, and we'll go ahead and say, that's Sales Orders for blue and green. And it's going to want to repaint the screen. Brings me back to the Role Center, and now when I hit Sales Orders, I have a menu option called Sales Orders, blue and green. So pretty nice way, once again, just your average user, being able to take ownership of those filters and that information. So always go back home to the Role Center. I can, flip back just like with Internet Explorer. I can come right here to the Role Center, kind of home base, if you will. Other productivity, what I call productivity enhancers in the system today. Once again, if I go back to Sales Orders and I look at a particular sales order number, and we're going to look at 2001, we're going to open that up. And this is my sales order screen. Little different than the classic view, and where you had tabs across the top, we now have what are called fast tabs that are residing down below. We also have a ribbon section or an action pane across the top, very similar to the other Microsoft products. So I have the ability here to also add functions and buttons to help me save a little time rather than go into Actions menu and things of that nature. So let's say in this particular instance, I want to create a new section here because in my day-to-day task, I always send information to Excel and I always send emails right from the sales order screen. So I can come back to customize, and I can customize customize the action pane by customizing this page, action pane, and you'll see that process and report are these areas here. New would be the new group that I may want to define, and I'll go ahead and rename that new group mine. So I've got a new group, and I want to go ahead and add processes to that new group. So I said I'm interested in going in and doing Send to Excel, which is right here, Send to Microsoft Excel. I want to add that. And let's say I also want to add another one under Actions, Send to Recipient as Attached. So once I say, OK, repainting the screen. I now have my new group called Mine with those two menu options. So you can see, obviously, and I won't drag you through it, I have the ability to add and take away from each of these and add more groups as I see fit. So just ways to kind of make my productivity, you know, a little bit more efficient and effective. So I've got these tabs, or excuse me, these buttons here. And as I'd mentioned before, the fast tabs that used to be the tabs across the top of my sales order, I have the ability to take information away from these and also add to. So in this case, you know, I have a foreign trade and an e-commerce tab or a fast tab that maybe I typically don't use. And I have the ability to get rid of those, which will show. I also have the ability to change the information that is shown at the top. Similar to a file folder, in the invoicing section, I can always expand it, but what it's showing me at the top are the promoted fields, which are fields that I'm interested in viewing without having to expand that fast tab. So just as an example, I'm going to come in and customize this page. Maybe I want to get rid of foreign trade and e-commerce just because they're in the way. And I also, if you see the invoicing here, I'm seeing a customer number, but maybe I'd rather see a contact name. So I've gone ahead, I've removed these fast tabs. Once I hit OK, it'll go ahead and repaint that information. But I also, on the invoicing tab, would like to customize some of that information. And when I hit Customize, it brings all the fields that are contained within that fast tab. Anything that shows promoted is the information that I'm seeing across the what I call file folder top up here. So the bill to customer number, I don't care to see in that area. So I'm going to go ahead and make it standard, which means I won't see it at the top. And I do want to make the contact a promoted field. And so now if I hit OK and OK again, what I've got is two fast tabs that have been removed where we saw them down below. They're no longer there, the foreign and e-commerce. And then I also now have the customer contact name rather than the customer number. Once again, you know, personalization that I've done for my particular user, and helps me be a little bit more efficient and effective. We also always have the ability to hide show column like you did before, and I can come in with a lightning bolt, you know, choose columns, have the ability to, you know, decide what information I want to see here, just like you did before where you grabbed it and shifted it over. Now it's presented in a little bit more uniform fashion, and I can, you know, move the price up. I mean, no different than what you've done before. Maybe I move that price up, and freeze frame or freeze paint is in here as well, so I can put that information in here and go ahead and OK, and see that information customized for my data entry screen. So similar to what you've seen before, but the way I go about it's a little different and probably a little bit more uniform. Also, we have the statistics button now for the order. Quick way to go in and have a holistic view of the order and the pertinent information. So it's telling me at this point, you know, information about what's taxable, what's not, profit. Once again, you know, can be security based upon my security. Invoicing information, you can see now that we have fast tabs also within statistics, so I can modify those and also, you know, add and remove as necessary. Say I want to come in and add a particular line item, kind of showing you data entry section. If I come in and hit item, I may not know the particular item number. I can click down, and you can see that right now, if I start typing, I'm on the item number field. If I click on description, I'm now, you know, searching on description, and I can type what I'm looking for. In this case, I'm looking for a frame. Brings it in. I say OK,